So the Tomb has released for Black Ops 6 Zombies, the second DLC that we've had released so far, and I'll be honest, I think this is quite a disappointing map. Don't get me wrong, it's definitely not the worst map that's ever released, and it has got some very positive qualities about it, but overall as a package it's missing quite a lot for me. So let's sit back and discuss the Tomb and try and work out what exactly went wrong with this map. Make sure you like and subscribe if you are new, but without further ado, let's get into it. So starting out with the positives, I feel it's only fair to say that from an aesthetic standpoint, this map is absolutely gorgeous. It is without doubt the best looking map I think we've seen on Black Ops 6. I'm not only talking about the funky ass Mushroom Kingdom, which looks like it's been ripped straight out of Modern Warfare 3 Zombies. The actual tomb itself looks great. The spawn room, the dig site itself, it's such a lovely contrasting colour. I know a lot of people are upset about the fact that it was sort of done during the day as opposed to night time. I really like it. I think it changes up the vibe a little bit, and to be honest, 90% of the map is in the dark anyway, so I don't really see what the issue there is. But not only from a colour palette perspective is the map really good looking, there's even smaller visual details which we haven't seen so far throughout Black Ops 6. Things like the Pack-a-Punch and the box locations being on those little tombstone plaque type things is a really cool way of providing the player with information without it being a HUD overlay. It's just a good way of using the environment to help benefit the player. And speaking of locating the Pack-a-Punch, I think the actual camo itself is also fantastic. It's very Black Ops 2 vibes, that sort of Origins sort of skin, even though it's a way different colour palette. And honestly, it fits the theme of the map with the surrounding environment all having those similar symbols on it, and obviously the map having the ice stuff as well, so it's very Origins vibe, even though it's also nothing like Origins at the same time. And ultimately I think that's a good thing, because I don't feel like you want new maps almost taking pre-existing fan favourites and just sort of regurgitating them differently, because ultimately Treyarch are just going to piss off their OG fans who love the likes of Origins if they incorporate sort of parts of the map within the tomb. Continuing on with the positives, I do really like the dark ether lanterns that are dotted around the map. Now they're obviously used for the Easter egg, and you know, they're kind of required for various steps of getting the ice staff. However, I just quite like having them there as almost like a free trap as such. Don't get me wrong, they don't exactly do anything and they're not overly powerful, but again, it's just that unique method of getting the environment to benefit you, almost adding a level of realism to the zombies mode. I also really love the amount of side Easter eggs going on in this map. Now, Black Ops 6 has been incredibly good at offering side Easter eggs across all the maps, and this is no exception. There's tons of things you can do to get power-ups, free perks, there's even the golden armor one, which we'll get onto later, but all in all it's really solid stuff, and just provides more replay value to the players there. However, despite these small positives, the Tomb has definitely got some glaring issues involved in it, and the first of which we can talk about, as we've mentioned it already, is the golden armor side Easter egg. Now, don't get me wrong, I am by no means good at zombies, and the actual fact that it's returned is really cool in of itself, but this thing is an absolute fucking nightmare to unlock. Like, it is a piss take for new players. The whole thing with Black Ops 6 is that they're trying to get casual players to take the zombies mode seriously and enjoy it and complete Easter eggs and side quests and stuff. No fucker's gonna want to do this. The challenge associated with it is absolutely ridiculous, and to be honest, I don't actually think it's worth the payoff. The golden armor's good and is incredibly useful in the boss fight, but at the same time, it's not essential. I feel like for a challenge as difficult as this, it would be for like a perkaholic or something, not just getting gold armor. I mean, there's such an absurd amount of plates available anyway, it's not like you ever run out, I feel, so this was really not it. Now, speaking of not being it, I think we really need to address the elephant in this map of what is just, well, awful. That being the Easter egg. Now, the steps themselves are fine. I think they're a little bit repetitive because once you actually build and then upgrade the ice staff, you literally just have to do 4 boss gauntlets, and that's essentially what you had to do to upgrade the ice staff anyway, so it's very much just a lockdown, kill enemies, do the next bit, lockdown, kill enemies. It's very repetitive in that regard. However, without doubt, my biggest issue with this thing is the boss fight. So I think the boss fights have been great so far in Black Ops 6, however, when it comes to the Tomb, well,
looks like there's been a change of plans.
This is easily the most underwhelming boss fight I've completed since Revelations. You've literally gone from fighting a godlike being in the form of a statue and a massive fucking zombie squid-like thing to literally fighting a bit of furniture. You're fighting an artifact. It's such a stark drop-off. and despite it being an inanimate object, it's easily one of the toughest boss fights around. The complete and utter spam of special zombies that have like 5 times the health they do normally and that can literally one-shot you is just not fun. There's no, well, there is challenge to it, but it's artificial challenge. It's not like a natural progression, it's just an absolute piss take. Not to mention, if you actually complete all of this and get to the ending cutscene of the Easter egg, well, prepare to be disappointed, because there's fucking nothing going on. There is no character chat in there, other than fucking Raptor 1 coming in, you know, the Exor pilot, and then a load of bloody dump from Sam the AI, just explaining where you're going to be going into the next map. There's zero cool moments at all. There's not even an intro cutscene to the map itself. That was completely disappeared. It's so clear that this has been affected by the voice actors controversy with Activision and wanting to use AI voice actors instead, which is it just ridiculous in itself, but that's a different video for another day. Either way, the content we have gotten because of this is quite frankly shite. I don't know if Treyarch paying out maps like every 3 weeks is also affecting this, because obviously there's such a short turnaround time with all these maps so far, but either way, cutscenes like this completely kill any hype for future DLCs. The only positive I can think is that it's not as bad as what we got in Black Ops 4, where we had these lovely, really fully rendered cutscenes, and then we ended up getting like fucking comic book strips when the hype died off. If we get something similar like that in Black Ops 6, fucking send this game home. Moving away from the Easter egg, I think we need to discuss the weapons that have been released in this map, both in the map and alongside the map in one weapon's case. So let's start with the ice staff, right? It has been nerfed to shit. Like, this iconically is one of the best wonder weapons that we've seen in Zombies on, again, one of the greatest maps of all time. So it really needs to receive some tender loving care if you're going to bring it back. Now, it's definitely better upgraded, but the base version of this ice staff is absolutely arse. Like, there's no two ways about it. It's terrible. It can't kill past like round 20. That's atrocious. It feels like it's a bit of a common trend that wonder weapons in Black Ops 6 are just a bit weak. The only one I would say that has upgraded as such from its original counterpart is the jet gun. So when you compare it to that, this ice staff is very disappointing. I think the biggest question we need to ask with the ice staff is, why do we actually have it? Why is it in this map? Don't get me wrong, I do think it's cool, and I do like iconic stuff returning in Zombies, everybody does, but it feels really shoehorned in. Like, there's no actual relevance to it being here at all, or if there is, it's not explained that well, I feel. Like, I don't see any reason why, if they wanted to include a staff so badly, they couldn't have just made a new one, maybe like a Dark Ether staff for example. The whole situation just kind of feels like nostalgia bait to me. Now, speaking of nostalgia bait, the other weapon that is released alongside this map, not within it, key difference there, is the PPSH, one of the greatest, most iconic weapons in all of COD Zombies. Now, I'd love to sit here and tell you that this weapon is absolutely fantastic, it really fits the vibe of the map, it's just as good as what it was in World at War Zombies, it's just an absolute staple and it's incredible and all this great stuff. However, I'll be completely honest with you, I haven't unlocked it from the Battle Pass yet, and this is where a crux of an issue comes in for me, and it's not necessarily all on it being the tomb, it just happens to have happened the worst on this map for me. So, this game restricts content from a PvE game mode behind a paywall. The fact that this system exists in Black Ops 6, I just fucking hate it. Like, do you remember when the PPSH was announced in Gorokrovi back in the day, and people were literally in tears with hype? You'll never be able to recreate those moments again if you keep up this model. And now, by the time you've unlocked it, unless if you do pay for tiers in the Battle Pass, realistically, you'll have completed the map and realised after 2 days that this is a pretty shit map, so you're not even going to enjoy the weapon on the map it was designed for. I can kind of understand this system in multiplayer, but for Zombies, to me it's just so stupid. Shifting gears back to the map itself, I feel like there isn't necessarily going to be the replayability on the tomb compared to the other maps. Now, I think the main factor behind this is the fact that the map itself feels very small. I know it's meant to be more like Liberty Falls and a little bit more casual, but I feel as if I learned a lot of the map on my first playthrough, and I don't really feel like this should be the case with any Zombies map. part of the fun of zombies is learning and mastering maps, developing training spots and getting to high rounds, and I feel like this is something that this map and the whole of Black Ops 6 does kind of struggle with, and that's probably half the reason why a lot of the hype has died off for this game, is that you haven't got that replayability available on the maps yet. I think a large part of this comes down to how Black Ops 6 works with like the loadout setups and the unlimited perk limit. It just removes any variety for the player on a game by game basis, and as I said in my actual full Black Ops 6 Zombies review a couple of months back, I fear this will kill the game, and it kind of feels like it's going that way. I think another thing we need to address with this map is the glitches that have been going on. Now, it seems like there is significantly more glitches on this map than any other one so far in Black Ops 6. People have been crashing out of Easter egg runs non-stop, myself included, and don't get me wrong, people don't always have unlimited amounts of time to play zombies, so if this happens to somebody who's got a regular 9-to-5 job, maybe puts an hour or so into zombies each time they play it, this will just kill your hype. If you put in like 2-3 days worth of effort maybe to defeat an Easter egg, and then it's just all for nothing. It's something that was definitely present in Citadel des Morts, however I sort of let it slide, but it's way more prevalent in the Tomb, and it will continue to put people off playing if it's not resolved soon. We've already covered this in part throughout the video, but there are other aspects of the map that are just straight up ripped out of previous Zombies content. So for example, you got the enemy, the Shock Mimic, right? Now I know it's technically different because, oh, it's electrified now, but the Mimic is an enemy that's pulled straight out of Cold War Zombies, and I'll be honest, it doesn't really add anything to me. It's just annoying, especially in that boss fight where it's overpowered as shit like all of the special zombies are, but it just adds nothing new to the game in my opinion. And the quote-unquote new perk, Death Perception, is absolutely arse. Like, it was arse in Black Ops 4. I don't know what it was like in Cold War. Apparently it wasn't great, but I haven't played it myself. But in Black Ops 6, I see no use of having it, other than maybe for the golden armor step. The only other little nitpick I've got is that the doors seem really expensive on this map. I don't know if it's because there's like 6 of them, because the map's fucking tiny, but yeah, just something that I noticed in my first playthrough and thought, this seems really expensive. So overall then, as you've probably guessed from the last 11.5 minutes of video, I am not a massive fan of this map. Don't get me wrong, I don't think it's outright a terrible map, or it's bad. Don't get me wrong, I think it's better than a lot of other stuff that we've had in Zombies in previous years, but I think the best way to describe it is disappointing. I feel like it's a real step down from the likes of Terminus and Citadel des Morts, and honestly probably is even worse than Liberty for what Liberty is actually designed to be as a map. The Easter egg itself was not rewarding whatsoever. It frequently glitches at the minute, and it's just making it an unpleasant experience. So many of the new things included in this map aren't new things to Zombies at all. It's old assets being reused, and as I've said multiple times this video, that's fine, but you need to sprinkle it in. You can't just dump it and have that be it for the map. You need to incorporate it alongside new and innovative things, because that's what keeps players coming back. I'm really worried with how they've left the story itself. It feels like the cutscenes have kind of tailed off at the minute, and I'm worried that we're going to end up having absolute slop served to us just to limp over to the end of this game, and then we get the Black Ops 2 remake or remaster in 2025, and then we go again with the premise crew from there. But ultimately, what do you guys think? Have you guys played the Tomb? Have you completed the Easter egg? What are your thoughts on the map itself? Let me know in the comments down below. And once again, if you are new here and you have enjoyed, please do consider subscribing, as it really does help out the channel. Anyway, thanks ever so much for watching. Hopefully see you in another video sometime soon.